Hello and welcome back to the Limit of Adhesion USF2000 League. My name is Mark. Joining me here in the commentary booth is Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm great, thank you, Mark. It's fantastic to be back in the USF. It should be an interesting race, this. Obviously it's an oval, so the most important things to get right in this is the left turns.
Definitely, Steve, definitely. Yeah, if you find yourself turning right on an oval, something's gone drastically wrong.
Definitely.
We've got a few new drivers to say hello to. We've got Ben Chalcraft, Kenneth and Slade Beese, all making their Limit of Adhesion debut in the USF2000 League. We've also got returning drivers to the Limit of Adhesion, brand new to the USF2000 League, Lej and Jenkins and James Pepper. Some interesting names there, Steve. What do you make of them?
Yeah, very interesting. Obviously, James has come across at the moment from the GT3s. But he did do the F3 last year.
Lawrence and Jenkins, of course, well known over on the oval side, so he should hopefully feel right at home here at USA International.
I would think so, yeah, definitely.
Right, and as we see now, practice results, Ben Chalcraft starting his Limit of Adhesion debut as he means to go on with the fastest lap time. Just having a look, Malaren down in third. It's not often we see Malaren as low down as third, Steve.
No, that's a complete surprise, is that?
So it was only practice.
Yeah,
and
very much.
Look at that, he's straight back onto pole position.
Yeah, so qualifying ended with Malaren on pole, Nicola Lee second, followed by Ben Chalcraft, Dan O'Hammond, Russell Bright. Fantastic result there for qualifying. Gavin Kelly, Kenneth Olive, Gareth Winslade, Merrin Hugavin, Chris Foster in 10th, Slade Beese, James Pepper in 12th, Lawrence Erin Jenkins in 13th, and then I couldn't remember the last one, to be honest.
Keith Schooling, I think, in 14th.
That's that, Keith Schooling, yeah, that's correct.
It's nice to see a nice full grid this evening. We've only had 9 people the first few rounds, so yeah, good to see a slightly bigger grid.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with a bigger grid out on this smaller track.
Yes, and here's something we got to get used to. Oval start, Steve. Normally we see the pace car going straight back into the pits, but no, we're going to have at least a couple of pace laps to get us going.
I think this isn't going to be the first time we see the pace car neither on an oval track.
Exactly. See, normally with oval racing we get pace cars, which is not something that we get too much, well, at all in road racing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that adds an extra dynamic to the race.
Very much.
As we see now, I must say, a bit of a disappointing result in qualifying for Hooperville down there at 9th. He's normally right up in front, fighting with Malaren for the leads. As we see the pace car come in, and we are racing at USA International. Malaren keeps his lead. Bit of action going on behind us. Chalcraft gets straight up into second. That's the dream start for him. Nick slips down to third. We've had a little bit of issues at the back. James Pepper and Merrin Hugavin have dropped off the pace a little bit, as has Chris Forrester. A bit of a gap. And there is a pace car out already. So, yeah, let's see if we get a replay of what happened as the drivers all start to slow down. Very easy to run into the back of someone here as we see those 3 drivers I mentioned straight into the pits for repairs. We do get one quick repair, I believe, in this series.
I think it is, yeah. I mean, it's so unfortunate on the first lap where something's happened where you have to take a quick repair.
Yeah, as you see, I think James Pepper slightly missed his grid spot. Had to reverse in the pit lane. That's never ideal.
No, it's so easy done as well when the 3 of you try to battle for the same place.
Yeah, here I'm going to see a replay of what happened. Yeah, Merrin Hugavin just loses it, takes out Chris Forrester, and Pepper just an innocent victim in that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the back end's just stepped out and he's straight round.
You can see Chris Forrester again, nothing he could do. And Pepper, we're going to see it on board. It's an awful position to be in for Pepper. There's nothing he could do about that. That's a shame.
Just car straight across the track. There's nowhere to go, is there?
Exactly. But on the bright side, they've got a fast repair. Pace car was out. Forrester's still in the pits, so not sure what happened. Whether he forgot to have his quick repair on or something like that, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Pepper and Hugavin at least have made it back round and have joined the back of the field. And we remain under safety car conditions at USA International.
Although it does say 60 laps, it is a 20-minute race, so it depends on how many laps they get through that 20 minutes.
That is a very good point, Steve. Obviously, at full green flag conditions, these cars can do a lap in about 20 seconds. So that'll be your 60 laps at 20 minutes. But obviously, under safety car conditions, we are not doing anywhere near 20-second laps. So we will not hit 60 laps in total. We will have the checkered out at the end of 20 minutes. So on board with Dano Hammond here. He's going to be thinking, right, how can I use this to my advantage? Russell Bright just up there in front of him. He'll be wanting to get a good start, as will this driver, Kenneth Olive, looking to make his way further forwards up the field from 6th on the grid. Now, while we're under safety car conditions, Steve, you got any facts about USA International? Lakeland, USA?
Unfortunately, we've been too busy at work. I've not been able to do my homework. I'm really sorry.
No worries.
I'm sure that you had some though.
I have one, and that is that they do a 12-month guarantee on all kitchenware. And saying that out loud, I think I might have got the wrong Lakeland. As we see the pace car comes in, we are about to go green, and we are racing once away at USA International. Chilmalarin keeps his lead. Ben Chalcraft still in second as Nick Lee looks up to the inside, but he's got to be careful. Russell Bright going around the outside. Will Bright be able to hang on? He'll have the draft, but Lee has the inside line as we see contacts and... Oh dear, Russell Bright in the wall. Oh my word, there's a huge pile-up. I think, ironically, Hugavin made it through relatively unscathed, and he's up to 5th or something now, but... Oh, blimey, that was most of the field. So we see Dano Hammond with 3 wheels.
Yeah.
Russell Bright going very slowly. I don't think he's got a front wing. As we see, surely you must be going back to yellow. As we see, yeah, Chilmalarin slowing down. Kenneth Olive got...
the pace card again.
Exactly. Kenneth Olive got very lucky there. He looked like he was right on the back of Malarin. And let's be honest, it's not often we can say someone's hanging onto the back of Malarin, can we?
It's very true, very true. But I think the pace car's helping because it's bunching up the pack.
Indeed. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a replay of that and we'll be able to see. Oh, that's unfortunate. Hugavin didn't make it through unscathed, so he will probably have quite a lengthy repair, and that might mean that he's out of the race. As is James Pepper. That's very unfortunate for the two of them. Russell Bright also in the pits, as is Chris Forrester. Oh, saying that, Marion Hugavin straight out the pits. So maybe he got very lucky with his repairs. Now, where's he going to filter in to the pack? That's going to be interesting. So we see Keith Schooling up to 3rd. That's an amazing run from him. Just shows how important it is to keep your nose clean.
Very much.
I'm just wondering whether Keith Schooling, of course, all that oval experience, along with Lawrence, helping him to avoid these crashes. We'll see what's happened. So Russell Bright and Nick Lee going side by side. Russell Bright just got...
touch.
Oh gosh. It just gets worse the more you look at it, doesn't it?
That's a little bit of a mess. Yes.
So that was Russell Bright. Yeah, tried to go around the outside. I think just slightly misjudged it, and then just watch the carnage.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Well, it's not often that I'm speechless, but so it was. That's interesting. So it was Nick Lee who touched with, I think it was Ben Chalcraft.
I think he was, yeah.
Oh no!
Just a tiny touch from Russell Bright there.
Yes, there were two
Nick Lee.
separate incidents. So there was Russell Bright went into the back of Chalcraft.
Oh, Chalcraft, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think Chalcraft instinctively just sort of jinked to the left a little bit, and ended up not leaving enough room for Lee, who had nowhere to go other than slamming on the brakes. That spun out
which
Chalcraft.
Had massive repercussions for everybody behind them.
So I think that's pretty much the entire field now has been involved with some sort of collision, except Chilmalarin.
So yeah, so the Lakeland is actually the USA International Speedway, and it's in Florida. I found out, and it's a 3/4 mile track. I think that's concrete. Yeah, concrete paved oval with a 14-degree banking.
Oh dear, that's Slade and Kelly getting together. Slade looked like he had a lot of lock on going in a straight line, so I think he was already damaged. So I'm not sure if that was... Yes, that was after the collision, as we saw Dano Hammond just drive past in that replay with 3 wheels.
Looks like we're going to go green fairly soon as well.
Yes, so will Kenneth Olive be able to get the jump on Chilmalarin? As we see, we've got about half a lap to go. That's assuming the pace car will come in this lap. Now, Kenneth Olive, will he be able to do what very few people have been able to do before and overtake Chilmalarin?
It'll be interesting on this restart to see who can get a clean lap in first.
And in comes the pace car. Chilmalarin will bring the field screen, and he's off already. We're back racing at USA International. Malarin, he didn't look phased, did he? He was just straight back into the lead. He's got such a good command of this car. He just seems in a class of his own, to be honest.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Pepper's back up to 8th, a lap down, along with Kelly, Hoogeveen, Slade and Bright.
As well, Pepper being a lap down, we do have the lucky dog rule here because we are on an oval. So that means that in the event of a safety car, the highest placed driver that is a lap down will get to repass the safety car, get that lap back. As we see Dano Hammond just trying to overtake Olive around the outside, but I don't think that's ever going to work. He's taken a higher line here. It seems to be losing him time on entry, but he's just getting such a good run out of the corners, his Hammond, that he seems to be all over the back of Kenneth Olive. So, you know, watching Lawrence Aaron Jenkins on the back of Keith Schooling. Keith Schooling unfortunately drops a little bit behind the top 3 or 4 as we see this battle for 5th. As we see Lawrence dives to the inside. Will he get the move done? Under braking. I think he's got this move done. Yeah, Keith Schooling thinks, no, I'm in this for the long run. Although he's hanging it around the outside. So, and he's got the place. He's got the place
Very
back.
good.
Well done, that man.
And Chalcraft with the fastest lap, 19.7.
Indeed. Of course, he is in the draft, so that will be helping out quite a lot. As we see Lawrence Owen Jenkins finally getting the move done on Keith Schooling. We'll see if Schooling can hang on to the back or whether he will start to slip down the field. And that's a big shame for James Pepper, as I've just seen that he's back in the pits. So he was in prime position for that lucky dog if we got another safety car, but unfortunately he might have had another issue because he's sat in the pit lane along with Slade, Lee and Forrester.
Yeah, it's unlucky that really. Hopefully we get a replay of what's happened to him.
And just like that, Steve, we are 10 minutes into the race. We feel like we've had, 3 flying laps under green flag conditions? We're already halfway through.
That's it. Well, at least they're keeping the nose clean now, and hopefully we get a decent race out of it.
Indeed, as we see Kelly on the inside of Schooling. Now Kelly is a lap down. He's more than welcome, however, to try and get his lap back. But Keith Schooling doesn't have to move over. So we see now, so Kelly is now in the prime position for this lucky dog rule if we get another safety car. As we see, the field's almost sort of separated out into 2 different packs. We've got Malarin, Olive, Hammond, Chalcraft, along with Gareth Winslade 3 laps down at one half of the circuit, this that we're on board with now. And then we've got Aaron Jenkins, Schooling, I think Kelly as well, and a couple of others that are several laps down on the other half of the circuit. So yeah, we've definitely got action wherever we look, as we see Slade Beese defending heavily from Gareth Winslade, who is 3 laps down. So Gareth Winslade there getting his lap back on Beese, as he is allowed to do. So now Kenneth Olive just starting to drop slightly back from Malarin. So we see, Hammond just scraping the wall. Very entertaining.
It is very. It's a completely different style of racing to road racing, the ovals.
this battle is not over. That's Keith Schooling again with Lawrence Aaron Jenkins. These two absolutely glued together for the past sort of 5 laps or so. Russell Bright hanging in there behind. He's obviously a lap down after that earlier incident. He will obviously want to be making his way past these two, so I reckon he's thinking that he's got more pace, just sort of watching his lines. See him not letting go of that slipstream, taking a slightly wider entry, probably to preserve his tyres a little bit.
It's so important, the slipstream. So important.
It is, definitely. You see Marion Hugevin down in 9th. He has got his... No, he hasn't got his lap back. He's on the same lap as Slade Beese, though, so that will be a fight for position when Hugevin catches... Well, if Hugevin catches up.
Malarin's now outside of the total 1 second with a 19.5.
Indeed, and in fact, Kenneth Olive looks like he's starting to break away from Hammond there. And I have to say, fair play to Dano Hammond, because he was driving with 3 wheels earlier, so you know, to be up with up in the podium position, that's good going from him.
Yeah, that'd be a good result, cracking result if he managed to pull off with a third or even a second.
Yeah, of course, he's not letting Kenneth Olive go. As we see, Keith Schooling and Lawrence Aaron Jenkins still... It feels like they're glued to one another.
And that's Russell Bright just behind him as well. Although he's a lap down.
He is a lap down. In fact, he's 3 laps down. So he'll be hoping for a safety car or 3 to get some of those laps back. Of course, Russell Bright, he's quite a few laps now ahead of Slade, but a couple of laps behind Hugevin, so he's probably not going to be doing anything too silly. He knows that without safety car or anything, 10th is probably the best he can do, so he's not going to be wanting to put himself in a dangerous position, as we see Keith's going to dive to the inside of Lawrence Aaron Jenkins. But then Aaron Jenkins just keeps the power down. He's just ploughed around the outside. It's amazing battling between these two.
But with such close racing, anything can happen. You can just tag a wheel or somebody spins off. Anything can happen. It can change in a blink of an eye.
It certainly can. I mean, saying that, we had the first 2 rounds of the USF2000 League. The first one at Road Atlanta and the second one at Woodskogan. Both really clean racing. We had a few more incidents at Long Beach, but yeah, generally this is a fairly clean series, as we see Russell Bright dive to the inside, and he's gotten his lap back from Keith Schooling. He will now be eyes forward. Can he get past Aaron Jenkins? And Schooling is also thinking, can Bright get past Aaron Jenkins, because he wants to be joining that battle. As we see Bright now straight to the inside, straight past Aaron Jenkins. Aaron Jenkins goes a little bit wide, so we see Schooling think, oh, should I go to the inside? I can have this place, but unfortunately he doesn't have the speed to do so.
It looks like Malarin's disappearing up the road at the moment in first place. Now 1.8 seconds in front of Olive.
Yes, but having said that, here is that fight that we were just on board with. They're about to get... So Aaron Jenkins and Schooling are about to be lapped by Malarin. Could this play into Olive's hands if Malarin gets held up in traffic?
There's a distinct possibility, and obviously Hammond's closing in on Olive now. Now only 3.5 tenths behind him, so that's going to get interesting as well.
It will indeed. We saw Olive, when he was in the draft, he was able to stay in draft with Malarin for the majority of the race, but yeah, we'll see if Olive is able to catch back up as Malarin makes his way through that traffic. Having said that, there is Malarin, and he's got past no problem. The gap is 1.4 seconds back to Olive. As we see Lawrence Aaron Jenkins still taking that high line. So he keeps consistently diving to the inside, but he just can't seem to get the pace done. So yeah, Aaron Jenkins is just able to keep that momentum going, taking the higher line, going around the outside. See Chalcraft sitting in 4th, and he's actually not too far away from that Hammond Olive back on stick.
Yeah, he's very close. Actually, an interesting thing about Ben was that he's a massive Damon Hill fan, and yeah, he is massive. And the number of Ben's car is actually Damon Hill's old racing number from his Brabham days.
Oh, is it? That's brilliant. As we see now, Dano Hammond has caught up to the back of Olive. He's dived to the inside. Olive kept him around the outside, but Dano Hammond's still sticking to that inside line. Can he do what Keith Schooling wasn't able to do and make that inside line work? Or will Olive prove that nope, the outside is the place to be? As we see, oh no, Hammond's lost the rear end.
Oh.
Will he keep it out of the wall? No. Just touched the wall. Hopefully there'll be minimal damage, but I think that might have brought out the pace car, Steve.
I just wonder. I don't think the contact was hard enough, but I'm not sure what how. Oh.
See Slade getting collected by is that Slade Beese, who looks like he took out Pepper well as well again. Yeah, we are on board with Slade Beese, and I think Beese just didn't look like he left enough room there, to be honest.
And it looks like Pepper was an innocent victim of going through there as well again. Yeah, just nowhere to go.
Again, I feel quite sorry for Pepper because he saw that incident. You can see what he was thinking. He thought, oh, these two are having at it. I'll go to the outside and avoid any contact. And then, yeah, unfortunately, the inside was where you wanted to be. So yeah, really feel for Pepper in that, and Winslade because he was a bit of an unfortunate bystander in that.
Yeah, a lot of times in oval racing, it seems to be that the cars, when they contact and make and crash, they tend to go up the track first before then sliding back down. It seems to be momentum takes them that way.
They do indeed. So we see, I think this is a replay of that second incident, I think it was. So we saw Slade Beese just catching the edge.
Just drifts wide.
Yeah, just catching the rear left of, I think that's Lawrence Aaron Jenkins. As we see, oh gosh.
What pace car is out, is it?
It is indeed. As we see, this was the incident with Dano Hammond, which lost the rear end, did very well to keep it out broadly out of the wall. He had a slight little touch, but and I want to know when. I think this was at the same time as the Winslade Beese incident, because yeah, you can see on Hammond's dashboard it immediately popped up with yellow flag, and as you were saying, Steve,
correct.
I don't think that would have been for his own incident. So I think that
that was quite an innocuous little tap really on the wall. I don't think it would have brought the safety car out as normal. I think it was for the later incident.
Indeed. So yes, let's have a think. Who is going to get this lucky dog rule in their favour? And I think
is it Keith Schooling?
I think it might be Keith Schooling. Yeah. Well, we'll see if he cycles to the front. But yeah, Steve. Actually, saying that, look at the time, Steve. We just hit 20 minutes. So
20 minutes gone.
This may well be at the end of the race. We will probably finish under the safety car. So yeah, it's a slightly anticlimactic way to end a race. We never like to see it end under safety car conditions, but those are the rules, and we must stick to them. Yeah,
very much so. It is a very, very disappointing end, but the racing has been fast and furious, and been very entertaining so far.
It has indeed. So the final order. Chumalarin wins round 1 of the USF2000 League at USF International in Lakeland, followed closely by Kenneth Olive and Ben Chalcraft, 2 excellent debuts from those drivers. Dano Hammond in 4th and Lawrence Aaron Jenkins in 5th.
Oh, great results for the drivers there. The ones coming back and rejoining, that's a fantastic result. So obviously Heat 1 is Chumalarin, followed by Kenneth Olive, Ben Chalcraft, Dano Hammond, Lawrence Aaron Jenkins, Keith Schooling, Gavin Kelly, Merrin Hugavin, Slade Beese and Russell Bright rounding off the top 10. Gareth Winslade, Chris Foster, James Pepper and Nick Lee.
And of course Merrin Hugavin in 8th place will get pole position for the next round with the top 8 reversed for Heat 2. So that looks like Hugavin and Kelly on the front row. You see, I'm so used to saying Malarin's name first.
got to stop that.
Well, to be honest, Steve, I'm not sure. We know what Malloran is like. He is in a class of his own. Everyone else is racing the USF2000. It feels like Malloran's racing the USF3000 sometimes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can work his way through. If there's any more first, second, third lap collisions.
Indeed. Of course, of the 7 rounds that we've had so far, 3 rounds with 2 races each, and then the first heat tonight. Out of those 7 races, Malloran has won 5 of them.
It's class of his own at the moment.
It is indeed. And in fact, he's won every single first heat that we've had. It's just...
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. So, yeah, let's see if he can get another win. Of course, he did the double last time out at Long Beach, where he won the first race from pole position, I believe. No, in fact, it was Nick Lee on pole position last time out at Long Beach, but Nick Lee had that crash. But Malloran won the first race, and then in the second race he had that epic race where he was chasing down Eric Pusey for the win. So he did the double last time out. Will he do the double again, as we are racing once again at USA International? Hugvin retains his lead. Gavin Kelly looks like he's going to try around the outside, as we saw with Aaron Jenkins and Schooling last time out. That high line can work, but no, Hugvin looks like he's got that one covered. As we see, drama already.
At the back.
That's Dano Hammond and Lawrence Aaron Jenkins involved. I think they took out, that was Ben Chalcraft as well, as he falls down to the back. Oh no. And Kenneth Olive, I think, was also involved in that, because he's in the pits. Looks like he's towed. Pepper, looking at the track map, is going rather slowly. So I don't know if he was involved in that. Actually, no,
I'm not sure. He was in 6th, now he's dropped to 8th.
Yeah, so he might have been taking some avoiding action. So, we had, what, 1 lap of green? That's rather unfortunate, but...
Some are lining up 2 places to 6th.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we saw in the first heat that actually we had those couple of incidents early on, but once the drivers got into a bit of a rhythm, they actually started to play nice. So, yeah, let's see if we get some cleaner racing. Of course, it's so easy. These guys, primarily road racers, not used to racing on an oval. See what's happening. This is on board with Dano Hammond, and oh yeah, he's taken out. I'd like to see an onboard from Aaron Jenkins' point of view. I'm saying that as if by magic. Aaron Jenkins into the wall.
Hit the wall.
So yeah, he was on a full left lock, trying to avoid that wall. Just couldn't avoid it, bounced off of it. As we see what's happened with Kenneth Olive. Has he had an incident on his own, or is he just been caught up on his own? He's trying to avoid it.
Yeah, once again, there's just nowhere to go. You've got to pick a spot, and if the spot's the wrong place, there's absolutely nothing you can do.
Yeah, and you saw with Kenneth Olive there, he slowed down, he was doing everything right, he moved over to the left. Of course, right at the start, you can't just dart over to the left, because there might be someone there, so he was doing everything he could, but unfortunately Hammond just rebounded slightly too far, and yeah, innocent bystander. That's unfortunate.
That's it. I noticed that James Pepper's not going into the pit, so hopefully there's no damage on the car.
Yes, fingers crossed. Pepper had a really unfortunate first round where, there were a couple of incidents that he was involved with that weren't at all sort of anything to do with him. So, yeah, fingers crossed for a better round for him.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So hopefully he'll be able to get some clean laps in and do well this round.
Yeah, promising young driver. I've raced against him a couple of times in GT3 and Formula 3. And, yeah, he's showing a lot of pace. So
he is, yeah, he does really well. I must admit, I am quite biased because I'm actually his father. So
yeah, a bit of roast.
James started racing. James started racing almost 2 years ago. That was his first introduction, and he's done really well so far.
He has indeed. I remember when we were, I think it was the Formula 3 at Road Atlanta. He was using, I think he'd broken his leg or something, and he was using the hand paddles on the back of his steering wheel for the acceleration and brake. And he was only sort of a couple of tenths off of pole position. Like,
yeah,
so
he actually he had an operation on his knee, and while he was unable to weight bear with the knee, he was actually. Oh, and then we have another incident. I'll come back to that in a moment.
Gosh, we didn't even get to the first corner, and there was drama.
That's it.
Yeah,
as I was saying. Go on. Sorry. Yeah. What? 4 minutes in, he's up to fourth. Yeah, as I was saying, when James had his operation, he couldn't weight bear on his knee. He was actually playing at some stage on the Xbox controller.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I think one of the F3 races he was actually on a Xbox controller.
That is pretty amazing stuff. So yeah, he's definitely got a lot of pace. As we see, not quite sure what's happened there. We saw Forrester dive up to the inside. Oh, he's missed the pit lane.
Missed the pits. Oh, nearly got taken out there as well.
Oh dear, and he's made a bit of a hash of that pit entry, I have to admit. I was about to say, what's happening with Chris Forrester, because he's just driving past everyone, but yeah, he was obviously aiming for the pit lane. As we see Nick Lee and Russell Bright also in the pits. Of course, it's so easy to do. I do feel for Chris Forrester, because, you know, when you've got a bit of damage, as he obviously does, you know, you can be on full left lock, and if the car doesn't want to turn left, it will not turn left. So,
no, that's correct.
It looks sort of like quite a silly, embarrassing mistake, but actually it's so easily done. So yeah, I do feel for him. See Keith Schooling there, also in the pits. So we're going to get a replay of what happened. So this was Russell on board with Russell Bright at the pit lane. Oh gosh, yeah, he's just got sandwiched between. That was Keith Schooling, and I wasn't sure who the driver on the right was.
Pepper was brought into that as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we see Beese. Yeah, unfortunately Beese was a bit too close to the centre of the road. He needs to be closer to the wall there, I think. But yeah, 3 into 2 just do not go. As we see Nick Lee also involved in that. Just nowhere to go. He's on board with Pepper. And again, you can see Pepper saw the incident, he slowed down, but yeah, just unfortunately not enough time or space to react to that one.
No, especially when it's only just, you know, started the race again and it's the under green flag, all of a sudden everything kicks off, doesn't it? I think actually Nick Lee got a nose into the back of Pepper as well, which pushed him forwards.
Yes, it certainly looked that way, yeah. So we see now Schooling and Bright are just catching up to the tail of the field. We are 7 minutes in already, Steve. We've had, what, 1 lap of green flag racing, I think?
Yeah, time flies under the safety car, doesn't it?
It does indeed. So, just looking down the order then, we've got Hugavin from Kelly, from Beese, from Slade, from Malarin is our top 5. Pepper still up in 6th, so although he's had that incident, he actually made a couple of places in all of that chaos. So yeah, fingers crossed he doesn't have too much damage. But yeah, hopefully if he's not got damage, he can start to move forward through the field.
I would think so, yeah. I mean, he's like say, if there's no damage on the car and he's not had to go into the pits, then there's always a chance that he's going to pick up another couple of places.
So, I imagine we'll be coming back to green this time round, Steve. So yeah,
I would think so, yeah.
Marin Hugavin will be wanting to retain his first place. Kelly, look, you can see Kelly's already right alongside. He'll be wanting to make the
absolutely
jump.
Itching.
And we've got Beese there in the number 45, the red and blue car. As we see, Hugavin's made the jump already. We're back racing at USF International. He's just left the field behind. As we see Kelly now having to defend from Beese. As we see Hugavin almost into the wall. Got a bit of a tax tackle. Well saved that man, I have to admit, because that would have been such a nasty incident. But yeah, Hugavin will be kicking himself for dropping it all on his own. So that hands the lead to Gavin Kelly, who does the fastest lap of the race, quite understandably, because it's pretty much the only lap of the race so far. see Pepper and Lee side by side. Oh, Pepper squeezing him, not
Very
leaving
close.
much room. Oh, very trusting.
There must have been a whisper between them.
Oh, Aaron Jenkins is sideways. He took out Lee. And, Forrester's in the wall as well. Hugavin and someone else is also involved. Slade Beese has made it through. Okay, Chumala's up to third. He's got a podium already. We've had like 3 laps. Steve, what's happened?
It's mad. It's mad. I mean, I was going to Hugavin in the pits. But yeah, just once again, you keep it clean and you keep it facing forwards, out the walls, and you're picking up places all the time.
I genuinely don't know how he does it. It's like you blink and there's Malarin back up the order again.
He's just so consistent.
He is. As we see now, after all that chaos, Gavin Kelly certainly, as we see, Slade Beese has just binned it under the safety car. I'm not sure what happens there. I hope we're getting on board with that. But it seemed like he was turning left for turns 3 and 4. Just kept on turning left. That's bizarre. As we see, Russell Wright will have got the lucky dog, so he'll get his lap back. See what's happened here. So Kenneth Olive in 14th. Oh yeah, chaos
so
up ahead. Yeah, with the field so tightly packed. Let's see from Chris Forrest on board. See Aaron Jenkins lose the rear end. Everyone else tries to avoid, and
yep.
Unfortunately, too many drivers in too small a space. In fact, I'm fairly sure Aaron Jenkins didn't actually collect anyone else apart from the wall. So that would have been. Yeah, just everyone else trying to avoid. So we see Lee and Pepper. Lee tries to avoid. I think he might actually have touched the back of Pepper, but Pepper made it through unscathed. So that was very lucky.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Oh, maybe the whisker between them. Yeah, let's see then. Hugavin, I think, spun trying to avoid Nick Lee. Indeed, he did. And then collected a couple of other drivers as well. So I'd like to see an onboard with Slade Beese to see what happened with him, because he was running, I think, 2nd or 3rd.
Yes, he was.
That incident happened on the safety car, which was absolutely bizarre. I can only wonder if it was a hardware issue. Maybe steering wheel disconnected or something.
That's a possibility. I'm just trying to think. There was something in Discord. Somebody was talking about running on an Xbox controller, so I think that could well be it. Yeah, I think iRacing has a default setting where if there's a disconnect with the wheel or a controller, it automatically turns left.
Yes, you're right. So yeah, I'd like to see an onboard just to confirm, but I think that would make sense if that was a hardware failure for Slade Beese, which was very unfortunate, given that he was running 2nd at the time, but unfortunately these things are a part of racing, so
that's it. Very
unfortunate, but hey, it just adds to the immersion, eh, Steve?
Very much so, yeah. As we can see, Malarin in 2nd, so he's moved up from 8th to 2nd now. Gavin Kelly leading.
What's happened? I thought Malarin was 3rd, so what?
I'm just wondering whether somebody's gone into the pits and...
I can't think who that was. But anyway, so Malarin up to 2nd. He'll be looking to fight Gavin Kelly and do the double yet again. What do you reckon, Steve? Can he do it?
I've no doubt he could probably do it, yes. Never say never with Tom Malarin as they go green again.
Indeed, we are back racing at USA International. As we see, Gavin Kelly keeps his lead. Well, it actually looks like he's under a bit of pressure from Slade, which isn't something we say an awful lot. Malarin under pressure from someone, as yet we see Winslade dive to the inside. Malarin's got it covered though, not enough of an overlap. Malarin sweeps down to the inside and gets the apex of the corner. As we see, slightly back, we are too wide. That's Hammond and Aaron Jenkins side by side. Aaron Jenkins we've seen prefers that high line, so yeah, he's going to be hoping that he can not lose too many positions on the inside. So we see Dano Hammond and Nick Lee there all looking to try and pass on the inside. We see Hammond now in the slipstream of Pepper. Pepper doing very well. Can he catch up to the guys ahead? Pepper going to a defensive dive to the inside. Oh my word, they're almost 4 wide, Steve.
Just definitely 3 wide now.
Oh, Aaron Jenkins is wide, and Aaron Jenkins is in the
round he
ball.
goes.
I don't know if that'll bring out the safety car again, because that was only 1 car involved. I think it's normally 2 for a safety car. So we'll have to watch. And I can't see any yellow flags, so I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, no, there are the yellow flags. So we are back under safety car conditions.
It's unfortunate for Gavin Kelly there as well, because he actually made a break. He had 1.3 seconds in front of Tom Malarin. And he was actually, with Winslow challenging Malarin, he was actually making a break for it. So it's not done Gavin Kelly any favours on this at all.
No. Although, having said that, the longer we are under safety car conditions, the less time Malarin will have to attack Kelly at the end. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining, Steve.
It does.
So we see a replay of
Just
what...
have a look at the replay here.
Yeah, Dano Hammond trying to take that middle line. Pepper diving up the inside with Aaron Jenkins up top. 3 into 1 certainly do not go.
No, there's not quite enough room for 3 abreast, is there?
I think there was room for 3 wide, but you've got to be so trusting with the other drivers. And yeah, especially these guys, don't forget, mainly road racers. So they won't be used to driving on ovals. And yeah, I think a bit unfortunate that. So we see Russell Bright, I think, again, the recipient of the lucky dog rule. So he will get his lap back as he now scampers around to try and catch the tail end of the field.
I think that with that, looking at that last incident as well, that Pepper was actually keeping it very clean on the inside, and there was a slight move to the right, like just an incremental adjustment, and it looks as though Dano had just collected the car on the outside of him.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. There is room to go 3 wide there if all of the drivers are happy, but yeah, as we saw, all it takes is just one slight little mistake, especially 16 minutes into the race. You know, tyres might be getting hot. All it takes is, yeah, just one slight little oversteering moment, as we saw, and then, yeah, it's absolute chaos. So,
and we're down to, what, 3.5 minutes left of the race?
Indeed. And, yeah, talking about that, I, like many fellow road racers, thought, you know what, it's only turning left. How hard can it be? But I'll tell you what, Steve, until you try it, you will not appreciate just how hard it is. You've got to be so precise. Yeah,
very much. I've only ever raced in the Little Legends, which is the rookie series of iRacing on the ovals, and there's a lot of very close and fast, frenetic racing in it, and it's a fantastic little series to get involved with and to sort of cut your teeth in oval racing. But these are a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, 100% definitely. So yeah, like you, I've only sort of tried a few of the rookie races. I've tried the street stock and the Little Legends, and I'll tell you what, it's hard enough to race those around an oval, let alone something with this level of power, this level of downforce. Of course, something like this, a downforce dependent car, you know, especially if you're running in traffic as well, you're not used to it. You lose the aero on your front wing, and suddenly you find yourself understeering up into the driver on your outside, which is so easy to do.
That's it. Yeah, very much. Next thing you're hitting the wall or the car on the outside of you.
You are indeed. So yeah, very unfortunate for those involved in the collisions. But saying that, Pepper and Lee, those 2 of the 3 drivers, well, 2 of the several drivers involved in the last instance, soon 4th and 5th, as we are back racing again. Safety car peels into the pits. And we see Gavin Kelly hold on to his lead. Slade again looking to the inside of Malarin, but just doesn't have the overlap available. Malarin, on the other hand, has got a very good exit out of 1 and 2, and looks like he's right on the back of Gavin Kelly. And can he make a move as they start lap 30 with 1.5 minutes remaining?
Yeah, think Pepper got a bad restart, was mugged over the line by Hoogeveen and Nick Lee.
He has dropped a couple of places and he looks like he's under pressure from Bright as well. Saying that, Bright has just got the position. But all eyes up front, we've got a minute left and Malarin's looking very racy. Steve, do you think he's going to be able to do the double?
Oh, it's so close, there's nothing between them.
There really isn't. As we see, that is Nick Lee looking at the inside of Winslade. Winslade's dropped back a bit from that Malarin-Kelly battle for the lead. As we see, we've now got Kelly and Malarin fighting for the lead. Winslade, Lee and Hoogeveen still right there, fighting for third, fourth and fifth. As we see,
2 laps left.
Malarin looking to the outside. Kelly's just defending the inside. But Malarin looks like he's got to run. And he's going to dive to the inside. Not got white flag just yet. Kelly's still got enough of an overlap. Malarin has that inside line.
Inside.
Kelly was a bit wide off the corner. Malarin got a better run and he's gone to the inside. Will Kelly be able to stick around the outside? I don't think he's going to be able to. I think Malarin's got this place, Steve, as we see the white flag coming out. Oh, this is epic racing.
Nose to tail.
Nose to tail. Can Kelly do anything? He's got one corner left. I think Malarin might have this, as we see Winslade trying to defend the outside from Nick Lee, but Nick Lee has that position. Malarin has just won. He kept it ahead of Kelly. And Lee did get that place from Winslade at the end.
Pepper brings it home in 8th.
Yeah,
with Ben Chalcraft and Keith Schooling.
I had absolutely no doubt that Malarin would be able to do the double because he's just in a class of his own, Steve. But I do feel for Kelly, having led so much of that race.
Definitely, it's such a tight little track on Ivy, and if you right under the in this slipstream, it's easy to pull it out. So the results for round 4 are Tom Malarin takes a win again. Oh, I missed that. That one's gone.
Well, so
obviously Gavin Kelly in 2nd.
That's now 6 wins out of 8 for Malarin, and look at that, 178 points. He's nearly double it's got nearly double the points of Kelly. This is just...
It is. It's 4 points more than double. So he's on in a class of his own at the moment. Nobody to touch him.
I think, let's be honest, Steve, at this point it's a case of when Malarin gets the championship rather than if. Because he's just...
Yeah, definitely.
He's got such a pace advantage over the field.
Yeah, there's just nobody to touch him, whether it be road racing or oval racing. He just seems to have a gift with the car.
He does indeed. So another absolute masterclass from Tom Malarin.
Yeah, very much. And where excuse me, where are we going next, Mark, for the USF?
I believe we are at Watkins Glen, if my memory serves me correctly. I could have got that wrong though.
Right, that will be. That should be another close race as well, because it's everybody, all the drivers in the USF all have raced there either in Formula 3s or GT3s. So it'll be interesting to see if Malarin can do the double again, or where somebody else can actually close the gap and get the victories.
Well, he proved in the first 3 rounds that he was an absolute demon on the road course. He's proven tonight that he's also a demon on the oval course. I think...
Fantastic.
Yeah, who's your money on for Watkins Glen, Steve?
Yeah, I don't think he can look further than Malarin, maybe Kelly and Winslade. Yeah,
I think you're right. I just think you've got to be a fool to bet on anyone other than Malarin at the moment. He's just, 6 wins out of 8. I think Hammond and Hoogeveen are the only 2 drivers to get a win this season.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah, my apologies. Hoogeveen definitely will be part of it as well.
Gavin Kelly and Gareth Winslade have both had very decent results, so I'm sure they will be up there as well. As you saw on the screen just then, we have our Discord links. If you are interested in joining us, please click on that Discord link and come and enjoy racing with us. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Mark. Joining me in the commentary booth has been Steve. Thank you very much, Steve.
You're very welcome. I look forward to the next one as well.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.